Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be looking at everything you need to know about fonts and text in CSS. Before we get started, please hit the like button to help me blow up my channel. Thank you. The type of font you use in your HTML document is very important because it often dictates how your website is going to feel. When you create an HTML document, the default font is going to be one of the sans serif fonts. Basically, this font is pre-installed in most computers, so it is often used by browsers by default if the font is not specified. In order to change this, you are going to need to go to your CSS documents, and then we're going to use the body element selector, and then we're going to use the property font family. And here I'm going to say fantasy and save. And as you can see, our font has now changed to the fantasy font. It is customary to provide another font here, which is sans serif. This will be our fallback font. If this font is not available on our user system, then it's gonna use this font here. In addition to the font family property here, we also have the font size and font weight properties to determine the size and weight of our font. Let's say I wanted to make our heading here bigger. I'd select the H1 tag here and then say font size, and then in here I can either pick from one of these, or I can provide a numerical value for the size of our font here. So I'm going to say 36 pixels here and save. And as you can see, our font is now bigger. The font weight property, on the other hand, determines how bold our text appears, and it goes from 100 to 900. 100 being thin and 900 being super bold. So if I say 900 here, I'm gonna save, and we'll see that our heading tag here is now super bold. Normal is around 400, and then save, and this is basically normal. I want our font to be extra bold, so I'll leave that at 900. It is possible to download fonts from the internet and use them in your HTML documents, or you can use a CDN to provide your fonts. One popular CDN that's available for free is Google Fonts. In order to use it, you are going to need to go to Google Fonts. It's basically fonts.google.com. In here, you are going to need to pick the font you want to use on your website. So I'll just try to look for a script type of font. Let me see. I'm going to try to pick something that's readable. Oh, this one looks readable and it looks like handwriting, so I like that. In order to preview your font, you can type in text here. This is what the font looks like. So basically you're gonna have your preview here, and I like this. So in order to link it to my HTML document, I'm going to have to click this button here, get font. And in here I have like two options. I can either download the font to use it locally, or copy the embed code. I'm gonna use the embed code because it's easier. So I'm gonna copy this code here into the head of my HTML document, and done. Click on save. From there, what I need to do is go back to my CSS documents, and I'm gonna copy this line here. This is basically the name of our font. So I'm gonna go back to my CSS documents, and I'm gonna replace this with that, and click on save. And let me go back to my HTML document, and you will see that we now have this font here, and it looks beautiful. It's a font called Indie Flower, and if I was making a website for an art project, I'd basically use this font because, you know, it's artistic and creative. The last thing we'll discuss in this video is how to work with and style text in CSS. The first thing we'll do is select all the p tags in our HTML documents, and we're gonna say text align center and click on save. What this will do is align every paragraph to the center of our HTML document. Another value for the align property is left and then right. In order to fill the entire space without aligning the text to the left or the right, you are going to say justify and save. And as you can see, this will fill in the entire space. If I resize my HTML document, you're gonna see that the text is gonna fill the entire space that is provided on our HTML document without being aligned to any particular side. In order to make our text all capital letters, we can say capitalize here and save. This basically capitalizes all our paragraphs here. Another value is lowercase. We can save, and basically all our text now becomes lowercase. So that is the text transform attributes. I'm gonna get back my font here because it was beautiful, and I'm gonna erase our text transform and save to get back to where we were. Another property that you need to know for styling text is the text decoration property. Basically, this is used to decorate text. To demonstrate how to use this, I'm going to select this last text here and I'm going to give it an ID. Okay, let's say span ID. I'm going to give it an ID of rated, and I'm going to wrap this within this span. So basically, I've provided this line here with an ID so that I can select it in my CSS here. To select it, I'm going to use the ID, decorated, and in order to decorate it, I'm going to use the property text decoration here, and I'm going to say underline and save. This will basically create an underline on the text that we selected here. We can also say overline to put the line on the top of the text instead of on the bottom of the text. Also, we can say solid for a solid underline or overline. I'm going to change this back to underline because it's more intuitive that way. Underline, and I'm going to say dashed to provide a style for our underline. And we'll see that our underline now becomes dashed. We can also say dotted in order to have it be dots. I'm not sure if it's visible, but basically our underline is now small dots, as you can see here. We also have the line height attribute, and basically that one does what it says. It allows you to change the line height. Let's say 1.5 pixels here and save. 1.5 am, save, and as you can see, our text is now far apart. Here you can provide any value in pixels, or what I like to do is provide this in am units. If I say 5.5 here and save, you'll see that the line height of our text increases. You can try to use this value, increase it and decrease it until you get to a point where you like how the text appears. You can also specify the space between the letters here using the letter spacing property. Let's say letter spacing, and let's say 5 pixels and save, and you'll see that the space between our letters increases. I like to leave this at default for the best appearance. To change the color of our text, we can use the color property, and here I'm gonna give it the color of purple and save, and you'll see that the color of our text now changes. I'm gonna also give this one the color purple, say save. Also, you can provide the background color of any text using the background color property. So this one, I'm gonna give it the background color of red for demonstration purposes, and you'll see that our entire heading now has the background color of brown. So let me see, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it black here, and for our color I'm going to say white and save. Or maybe here I say brown and save. Dreams of brighter days. And basically those are all the things you need to know about text and fonts in CSS. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.